I discovered that every single organization on the planet, even our own careers, always function on the same three levels. Why we do what we do, how we do it, and what we do. And it's based on the biology of human decision making. Every single one of us knows what we do. It's the job we have, you know? We know that. Or if it's a company, it's the products they sell, the services they offer. Some can clearly articulate how they do things, the things that we think make us different or special or stand out from the crowd. But very few people or organizations can clearly articulate why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make money, that's a result. By why, I mean what is your purpose, what is your cause, what is your belief? Why did you get out of bed this morning? You know, why does your company exist? And why should anyone care? And what I learned is all the great leaders, those with the capacity to inspire us, everything from Steve Jobs to Nelson Mandela, regardless of what they do, every single one of them starts with why. They always lead with their purpose. And like I said, it's based on the biology of human decision making, so it's not even my opinion.
Yeah. You talk about a cathedral metaphor in the book. Can you just elaborate on it?
Yeah. So it's the difference of what we give somebody to do and giving a task to do. If you imagine there's two bricklayers, and if you ask one bricklayer, what do you do? He says, well, I'm building a wall. And so every single day of his life he comes to work to build a wall. You know, at some point that gets tiring. And if you ask the other bricklayer, you know, what are you doing? He says, I'm building a cathedral. Now what they're doing is exactly the same thing. They're both laying bricks upon a wall, except one has a sense that his work is contributing to something much larger than himself, something so large that there's lots of other people who have to contribute, versus just doing a task and coming in and performing that task, even if he does it well. And what you tend to find is people that have a sense that their work is contributing to something larger, especially something that requires lots of people, tend to have a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment and joy in their work and in their lives.
Yeah. I bet that second bricklayer had less sick days.
Yeah, exactly. He had vastly fewer sick days because he loved coming to work.
That's right. That's right. So for an individual, and you say it works both as the individual layer and as the organizational layer, and a lot of leadership gurus or success gurus, Brian Tracy, Tom Peterson, they say you've got to find a passion or a love for what you do. But for people who are watching this video that might think, I get it, I'd love to be inspired by what I do, but on a personal level, not organizational level, but a personal level, and they just think, well, I haven't found it. I haven't just, I'm not that inspired. But then I've got my bills to pay, and those are real bills at the end of the month. What advice do you give them to find their...
Well, I think that, this is where this is where the why came from for me, which was I had found myself in a position in my own life where I had lost my passion for what I was doing. And superficially, my life was good. I made a decent living. I had great clients. We did great work, but I didn't want to wake up and do it again. And so I was very embarrassed by that, and I kept that to myself. And, the problem with passion, people gave me the same stupid advice. Do what you love. Thank you. Thanks. Find your passion. Like, what am I supposed to do with that advice?
Right.
And what I learned is that passion, like profit, is a result. When we commit ourselves to some higher purpose, some higher cause, passion is the result. When we work hard for something we don't believe in, it's called stress. When we work hard for something we do believe in, it's called passion. Passion is not the entry point, it's at the exit point. So the question is not to find your passion or find the thing you're passionate about. The question is, what do you believe? The question is, what are your ideals? What are your values? And where are the places in which those people or those organizations share your values, share your beliefs? Who is articulating a vision of a world that you would like to live in? Push yourself in those directions, be around those people, align yourself with those organizations, and what you will find is you show up every day with passion. So it's not a manufactured feeling. Right. It is the result of being around people who share your values, share your beliefs, who you feel have your back. You feel this psychological safety being in their company. It's called trust. And the result is, it's the same reason we love being with our friends, assuming that they're proper friends. So it's the same thing. It's all the same thing.
So it's really about sort of going and finding something you feel a kindred spirit to. So would a lot of people listening to this think they should just go work in charity, or is that, can you do good in the private sector as well?
It has nothing to do with it. Charities are still profitable organizations. They just define profit by another metric. It's not money. So if the charity is aligned to save kittens from trees, then I hope you're profitable. I hope you're saving lots of kittens from lots of trees. So it's just how you define the output.
Yeah.
And the output must be greater than the input.
Yeah.
And it's not a question, traditional for-profit companies tend to be very good at the structure part and not very good at the sort of purpose part, where charities tend to have purpose pretty well down pat. It's the structure part that they tend to struggle with. So it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad, they could both do with learning from each other. So absolutely, it has nothing to do with going to work for a charity. I mean, you go work for Virgin, for example, at the holding company level, and many of their other companies. Virgin really does believe in taking care of people. Their internal policies really are very generous to their own employees. Flexible work hours, for example. And we know as customers of many of the Virgin products that they tend to put us first, and we can feel it. And the result is people really love working there because they feel like they're contributing to the lives of real human beings. Now, is that charity? No, that is a for-profit enterprise. But we have a joy doing business with them or working for them because there is a higher purpose.
Yeah.
It's not just sell, 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 sell.
Yeah.
There is something else there.
Yeah, so it's really sort of working out what is the value you bring to the customers, and then make sure that leaders at the top of the organisation are driving that down. So it's not just about your day job; it's about what you're doing, the benefit, the solutions you're providing for the customers.
What you find is at the end of the day, what purpose means is this sort of ethereal idea. What purpose really means is prioritizing the wants, needs, and desires of other people, sometimes before our own interests. It's like being a parent. Being a parent is the most purposeful thing you can do. It comes at great sacrifice. You spend your money on things you don't want to spend it on. You buy a people carrier. You don't get to buy that Lamborghini that you dreamed of having when you were younger. You take very different kinds of holidays. The back seat of your car is a complete mess. You don't get to sleep. And what's it all worth? It's the joy of seeing this child rise up and become something even greater than you imagined for yourself. Well, that's what leadership is. And there's nothing more purposeful than committing your life to seeing someone else grow. And if you talk to all the great leaders in the world and you say, was it worth it? Every single one of them will tell you stories of seeing someone else do something that they couldn't even have imagined. Great leaders sort of take this internal oath that they will continue to believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
And that's fundamentally what purpose is. It's an act of service, which is a very human thing. As social animals, if we commit ourselves to a life of selfish pursuits, then no one will trust us, and we will struggle to trust others, and we will probably die lonely and stressed out, and we may not last very long.
Yeah.
But when we commit ourselves to take care of those around us commit to taking care of us.
Yeah.
It's not a complicated equation.
That's right. Ken Blanchard, for example, he was talking about servant leadership, and one of your tweets on March 9th, it said, there is an entire section in the bookshop called Self-Help. What we really need is a section called Help Others. And the leaders that really get it are the ones that put others first. Is that right? Is that why you came up with the book title Leaders Eat Last?
That's correct.
Okay.
The title itself came from a conversation I had with a general in the United States Marine Corps. And we sat down and I asked him a simple question: what makes the Marines so good at what they do? And he answered simply, officers eat last. And if you visit any chow hall on any Marine base anywhere in the world, you will see them line up in rank order. Right. The most junior Marine eats first and the most senior Marine eats last. Now, if the general wants to go to the front of the queue and serve himself first, no one will question that. I mean, he's the general after all. Yeah. We wouldn't mind. But the fact that the general, even though he has that advantage, he has that perk, that he would sacrifice that advantage so that his men may eat before him, says something to the people that he aims to lead, that I prioritize your life before my interests, or I would sacrifice my perks so that you may be taken care of. And like a parent who feeds their children before they feed themselves, no one tells us to do that. It's not in any book, it's just sort of instinct. It's the exact same thing.